can.
Thank you so much.
That's right. Shall I answer that first question again?
What
Yeah.
is it like to make a book?
Oh, it's a really exciting process, but to make a picture book that comes out in the shops, it's quite a long process as well. So you've got to be very patient and you've got to work very hard on it over a long time. So yeah, it's a real mix. And then when it does come out, it's just, you know, it's exciting to see it in print and a real thing that you can hold in your hands.
Nice, thank you. And the second question, how long does it take you to think of a new character?
That's a difficult question to answer because some characters come quite quickly, and I've got a little sketchbook but I keep lots of ideas in, and if I have think of somebody or something, or I might put it down, and but then you'll often sort of work on that character because the characters don't tend to come completely formed with all their their personality or their story behind them. So then you start thinking about it over time, and then you try and sort of match the character with a story. So it can take quite a long time for that all to come together. I'm sure that anyone writing a novel would probably say the same thing, that you've got to really spend time developing your characters at the same time as you're writing your story.
I totally agree, because when I make like new characters, it takes me, when I have ideas, it takes me like 10 minutes to think of another character.
10 whole minutes, Josh.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Once I ran out, then I decided to make candy monsters.
Excellent.
Oh, I wish I could come up with ideas as quickly as that, Josh. That'd be make my job a lot easier.
I've got a great brain.
Yeah, you obviously have got you've got a fresh brain.
Young
Fresh brain.
Young fresh brain.
Just keep on working on those ideas. Get them out as quickly as possible.
Yeah, third question. How did you find a publisher?
Well, yeah, now there are lots of different ways of finding a publisher, but the way I did it was I went to something called a book fair, which is really a place where a lot of publishers, often international publishers, all get together to have a big meeting over a week maybe. In this case, so they have them in London, and they have them in a place called Bologna in Italy, and Frankfurt in Germany, and they have them in the United States. Well, I went to one in Bologna in Italy, and I went to, because the publishers have these little sort of an exhibition of all their books. And I went around all the different exhibitions of all the publishers, and I talked to a lot of publishers and I showed them my work. And there was one publisher from Taiwan that really liked my work and they wanted to publish my book. And that's how I got started. But another way people get started is some people go to university and study illustration, and then they show their work at the end of year show. And sometimes publishers go and look at those illustration shows because they're interested in finding new people who are really talented. And sometimes you can get yourself an agent. That's somebody who can take your work and show it to publishers on your behalf. And I've got an agent now, but when I started, I didn't. So the way I get work now is that I show my ideas to my agent, and if she likes them, she might suggest some changes, but then she'll have a good idea of who to send them off to. And the great thing about having an agent is they can talk directly to the publishers in a way that if you haven't got an agent, it's very hard to do that. So that's how I got started. I got started taking my work and showing it straight to the publishers at book fairs.
Nice. That's a very good strategy, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But it takes a long time to do it.
Everything takes patience, doesn't it? What's your next question, sweetie?
Question number 4. How long does it take you to make a book?
Well, again, it takes a long time. First you've got to have the idea, and as we've just been discussing, that can take quite a while to get your idea together. And then I discuss the idea with my agent, and then the agent, if they like the idea, they show it to some publishers, and then the publishers, they might reject it, which happens quite a lot, or they might suggest some changes, or they might take it on straight as it is. And then of course you start discussing it with the publishers, and you've got to do the rough draft, so everything in pencil first, so all sketched out, so that they can see exactly where all the images go and where the text goes, and that probably takes like 2 or 3 months to get the rough draft together. And then when everyone's happy with the rough draft, I start doing some color tests to make sure that they're happy with the way the illustration is going to look. And that's maybe for a week or so. And then you start doing the final illustrations. And again, it takes about 3 months probably to do all the pages. It takes me about 3 days to do each double page. Wow. So I can get like 2 and a bit. I can do like 1.5 pages a week, maybe. And if everything goes well, so it's about 2 or 3 months to do the pictures. And then you've got to wait for, even when you finish, you've got to wait for the book to come out in the shops or the libraries. And that can be up to a year or more. So it's a really long process. It's probably 2 years from start to finish. But you're not working on it every day, but bit by bit, and it all comes together slowly.
Lots of good stages.
That could actually help me in the future when I make my own books. That could probably help me in the future.
There we go. Thanks, Tom, for that.
Yeah. And then my last question, number 5. What is your favorite book you have written or illustrated?
That's a very difficult question. I usually like I really like the books that I'm working on at the moment, because you get quite excited about the work that you're doing in the moment, and you're seeing it develop. But I guess, I love working on a book called The Snatch Book that I did with Helen, my wife. So Helen wrote it and I drew the pictures, and it's all set in like a forest and at night time. So I love those pictures. And another book called To the Little Boat, which was the first book that I did in the UK, which got nominated for an award, and I love drawing pictures. That was drawing pictures of the sea and sea creatures. So that was something I really enjoyed as well. So I think those two, the Snatch Book and Little Boat, probably are my favourite books, which I often think back to.
Oh wow, Tom!
Brilliant.
How about you, Josh? What are you working on at the moment? Are you still doing loads of drawing and filling up your sketchbook?
That's the latest one.
Amazing.
Lots more, since seeing you, a lot more storytelling and focus on that person, that character. What are they doing?
Oh, wow.
Why are they there?
That's great. I love that monster you've drawn.
That's my favourite part.
Yeah.
There's a bunny.
I think it's one of the hardest things is to develop that story. It's But on the other hand, if you want to spend your time just coming up with loads of million of ideas, that's great too, because they're never going to waste. Even if you're.
Even I have that one.
Oh, you've got some incredible creatures.
Protective turtle,
Tom.
And then this guy. And then a bird that there was his little feet going onto the sharp spikes. In, and that's a person that's really freaking out.
Really,
I would be freaking out. I would be too.
I think that drawing pictures can be a good way of starting, a story. Because sometimes you start drawing and you don't know what the story's going to be.
Out.
But by looking back over your pictures, you can sometimes, feel inspired to put a story to a character. So either way, whether you're developing stories or just, drawing for the fun of it, the most important thing is just to keep on doing it and enjoying it, definitely. And, you obviously love it. And that's the best thing that there is, really.
Yeah, we love it. We love you, and we want to come back and see you so that Josh can take some of his stories and develop some, maybe do more work before he sees you next time, maybe.
Oh, right.
Okay, so
that,
that maybe,
that'd be great.
Yeah, he's a bit, can learn more, can take on some deeper sort of thoughts and ideas.
Great.
You absolutely talk about Tom all the time, don't you? You absolutely love being with Tom.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that'd be great. I'm so pleased
that you're so inspired.
Yeah, so you do a lot more drawing than I did when I liked drawing when I was your age, but I didn't do I don't think I did as much as you did, and I think what you're doing, developing characters in particular, is just fantastic, because characters are the most important thing in a story. I think, Helen, you'd agree, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to start with characters.
Start with the characters and their feelings and their emotions,
and they've got to have, I would say a character's got to have maybe some flaws, something, because every person has got good things about them and bad things about them, right? Maybe they've got some strengths and weaknesses. So it's really important to make your characters have both. those things. So they're not like perfect, but maybe they've got something they're not so good at, or something they're a bit scared of, and then you've got to give your characters a big problem as well to solve. That's always a good way of starting,
What's
isn't it?
your big word for a problem? The hook. Did you call it like the hook of the story? Oh, I can't remember, Josh. Sorry, you're better.
Cliff.
Yeah, no, that would be the
Yeah.
hook, wouldn't it? The thing that really,
Yeah.
draws you in.
Draws
Who's
you
been
in.
stealing all the
To make
biscuits?
you
or
go
whatever it
straight
is.
to the next book.
Yeah,
You have a book,
definitely.
and then it says, and then about explosion, and then they're worried, don't know what to do,
Dun, dun,
and then
dun.
the end, and they're like, what? And they know the next book coming up in 2022, and then
Oh, you can't wait, can you, Josh?
they're gonna explode.
I think-
one
Gonna
day.
do.
How old are you now, Josh?
9, and they're gonna be 10 this year.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you
Yeah.
just
Keep going.
all you have to do is keep going, because
Yeah.
loads of kids, when they get to, especially when they
Start
leave primary
secondary.
school, start secondary school, there's so much focus on academic subjects, which is really important. And
Yeah.
I was lucky that I was quite good at the academic side of things too, but they were always trying to persuade me to stop drawing.
Mm.
And the school I went to
Yeah.
actually wanted me to, basically didn't want me to go to art college.
Mm.
But yeah, so lots of kids just give up with the
I've
drawing.
never started illustrating, Josh. Like the paths
Just
and
keep
choices we make.
Yeah, and also
Yeah.
I
Tom's got
had
to go soon.
this thing.
What's
So I started with this.
What's that say? Welcome to my looking game. Who is the imposter? What level is that? Level
Tricky.
tricky.
A
There
tricky
you go.
level.
That's like what Helen was saying.
next-
Different
And
levels,
then
Josh.
this is the first page.
This is the first level.
And it's obvious who's the imposter in that one.
Is it?
Yes, he's holding a knife. I thought that's obvious.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, of course,
Camera.
sorry.
Now
And
that
then
you've
there's
mentioned this,
someone-
like,
Watching and being like, question mark.
That's
I
where
love
it's
you've
all
obviously, there's so much, like story going into your pictures. It's
And then
it's
in the
great.
next one, there's like a security camera with an imposter like looking down at him, and then there's a picture up there, and then each character has like a face on them,
Yeah,
and then they have like a leafy head. And
yeah, I
then
like
they
the
have like
head.
this little place where they look out and you can't really see them.
Mhm.
And then they have a little line going down, and then like just normal legs like this.
well done.
I think it's great, developing characters is and then I like the way your characters are consistent as well from one page to the next, which is an important thing in illustration, so that you can tell that they're the same people from one page to the next. That's great.
And then the
So
next
thank
page,
you. No, Tom's got to say
and
thank
then the
you.
next page like is like
Okay,
two
last one.
people like trust each other. And then they
like-
he's like
Where's the door?
slamming from the door.
Yeah.
So
I
they're
like-
like, let's go. And then
I,
there's
I like the way they have different sort of things on their different faces on their
Yeah.
body each time, sort of showing.
that's me and that's Edie. But if you could see, there's like that. There's a little pocket, and I don't know if that's a shovel or a knife. So this character's pretty scared because he's like looking down there and he's like saying, "What's a man?"
We've got a couple of friends in Swansea, and their kids love drawing, and they do. So they basically start off doing exactly what you did. They're just drawing like millions and millions of creatures and robots and
Wow.
worlds and just everything, just non-stop drawing. And now they've sort of starting to take those characters and they're starting to sort of turn them into very short sort of comic strips. And they started off not really making much sense. They were just, they were quite random. But as they're getting older, because they keep practicing it, their comics start to, have a more sort of structure to them and more of a continuous narrative. So maybe that's something you could think about trying. But
Work on those strips, Josh.
yeah, maybe to show, if you like the idea of sequences of like something happens and something else and then something else, and you get the reaction to things or doors slamming. I don't know, just to maybe try and put it into a sort of a comic book order. But like I said, it doesn't really at the moment. I don't think you just have to enjoy it. So just do whatever you
Yeah.
like best.
Like if you want to finish a picture, that's like a bit like boring because you finish it so fast and you don't get, and you forgot how
Yeah.
enjoy. And then when you like do it slowly and have some fun, like what
Save that finesse for when you're older.
Yeah,
you mean.
you get to like laugh out and like
Keep
have a
the fun
good
stuff for
time.
being 9.
That's what really pictures are about, having
Yeah.
a fun time.
Absolutely.
I think so. Definitely when you're 9 as well. I think it's amazing. Your dedication and your commitment are incredible. I'm well impressed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really impressive.
What do we say to
Bodes
Tom?
well.
That's such a
Tom.
You're
pleasure.
welcome. It's really
And
nice to see you
Helen,
again.
lovely to
And
see
you,
yeah, let's be
Helen.
in touch. We're really busy this summer because
Yeah.
we've got a few things that, because of all the things that got cancelled over lockdown,
Oh, that it is, isn't it? It's all going mad
everything's
now.
happening this summer.
Yeah.
So we're not actually, and I've got a deadlines. But let's talk about maybe after summer and see where we all are then. That'd
It's
be great.
nice getting some homework ideas. That's something we can work on.
I'm going to say a cliffhanger right now.
You're going to say
But I'm
cliffhanger.
going to tell you next time we do it.
Okay.
All right.
Tomorrow, I'm doing something really cool, but I'm
Yeah.
not going to tell you now because it's a cliffhanger.
go.
Brilliant. Well, I'll be waiting and
Be
wondering,
guessing.
looking forward to finding out all about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you
Oh,
so
no,
much,
you're
Tom.
welcome.
It's gorgeous to see both of
Yeah,
you.
nice to see you
Thank
too.
you, Helen. Thank you,
Yeah.
Tom.
And also,
See you soon.
and I don't just draw pictures, I also make stuff.
Oh yeah, the
Oh, there we are.
Ooh,
I can see it's all
impressive.
gonna become animation one
The
day.
felt
Yeah,
egg
yeah,
called
yeah.
Scramble. He's so good
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
names. Scramble the
The
egg.
pink's Candy Floss and the yellow Sunshine.
Okay.
Oh, I like that. Well, I hope you get plenty of candy floss and sunshine this summer.
Oh,
Yeah.
you too.
Yeah.
Keep, lots of love to you guys.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
lovely to
Lovely
see
to see
you.
you.
Very nice to see you again.
Bye.